Asuka Kazama is described to have a tomboyish personality and is quite brash and arrogant. Although her profile states that she breaks up fights regularly, she seems to have no qualms about fighting and seemingly revels in it. So, ever since she was a child, Asuka had received training in the Kazama style traditional martial arts from her father. Now, the Kazama style fighting or the traditional martial art is the exact same fighting style that Jin does as well. Although they were not trained by the same person, Jin was trained by her mother, June, but with Asuka, it is not described as to where she got her training from, it just says her father. We'll dive deep into the relationship between Jin and Asuka later in the video. So Asuka was born with a strong sense of justice and was well known around Osaka for breaking up fights in her neighborhood. We've seen this a lot, especially in her story endings, Tekken 5 and Tekken Tag as well. She has this thing of like being the local street hero, you know. It's cool. I really like that aspect of Asuka as well. It's a really fun thing to add to the character. So upon returning home one day, Asuka found pupils of her father had been roughed up. She learned from her father's pupils that an unknown Chinese man showed up at the dojo, severely beat them and put Asuka's father in the hospital. Several days later, an Interpol detective from Hong Kong, Lei Wulong, came to investigate the incident, mentioning that the suspect is most likely planning to enter the King of Iron Fist tournament. Upon hearing this, Asuka decides that she will also enter the tournament. So this is the beginning of Asuka's complete storyline in Tekken. She was introduced in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. Just Tekken 5. New character. She came with Feng and Raven and the like. So her father ran a dojo, a martial arts dojo. That's where she was trained from actually. And one time after coming home, she found that the father's pupils had been beaten up. Like they were like this was so sad. So the pupils and her father were both beaten up by this unknown Chinese man. If you don't know, this Chinese man was Feng Wei. And if you guys remember, I broke down the Feng Wei storyline. If you haven't seen it, please check out the Feng storyline. It ties into Asuka's storyline as well. So a summary for Feng's storyline. Feng Wei was on a mission to defeat all fighting styles. He was on a mission to discover the secrets of the Dragon Scroll. And when he did find the Dragon Scroll, it was revealed to him that he had to defeat all the known fighting styles in the world. So he would be like, the superior, the god, the strongest of the strong. And unfortunately, Asuka fell victim to this, mission. So Asuka learns that both the pupils and the father were like beaten up by Feng, and upon knowing this, she gets help from Lei Wulong because Lei is a cop, detective cop. So they are working on the same case together. I will explain about Lei Wulong's storyline, but in summary, Lei Wulong's storyline in Tekken 5 involves him also looking for Feng Wei. So they kind of work together to track down Feng in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. So this is the complete storyline of Asuka Kazama during the events of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. And unfortunately, her ending to the story in Tekken 5 has nothing to do with Feng. Sadly, she does have this interaction with Jin, so just some fun stuff, pervy Japanese stuff. But there is something to talk about here. The relationship between Jin and Asuka. I want to break this down at the end of the video, but you can get into it right now. Like, we don't exactly know how Jin and Asuka are related. They do have the same surname. They are both Kazamas, right? But Asuka has a different father. So I am guessing they might be step-brother, step-sister. And Jun and Asuka's father might have had something. It's really not explained, and it's so weird. It's the same issue with most of the stories in Tekken 5, guys. Everything I've been complaining about from the beginning, the plot holes this game has. So this is the biggest plot hole for Asuka. She does have a relationship with Jin, but we don't know just to what extent their relationship, how deep their relationship is. Are they cousins, step-brother, step-sister? Are they actually brother and sister? We don't really know that. But in this small interaction between Jin and Asuka, we can see that Asuka has kind of cured the devil Jin, like taken the devil Jin transformation away. So she seems to have some kind of healing capabilities. Maybe something like June, because June had that as well. I think it was in Tekken 3, if I'm not mistaken. So she kind of has maybe June's DNA or something. I don't know. It's speculation at this point. But as far as Tekken 5 is concerned and Asuka's storyline in Tekken 5, this is as far as she goes, and this is what we're told. Enter the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. So, unfortunately, Asuka did not find Feng during the events of Tekken 5. We're told this during Tekken 6. So she returned to her calm and normal life, disappointed, discovering the fact that she did not find the man who hospitalized her father. However, her life didn't stay peaceful for long, as Asuka discovered that Jin Kazama was the man responsible for the terrible war going on all over the world. She enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 in order to capture Jin Kazama. Now this, in my opinion, was lazy writing. Like this was possibly the worst turnover to, Asuka's storyline. It went from a very, very solid story, like 8 out of 10, to like 5, bro. She's looking for Feng in Tekken 5 because Feng hospitalized her father. But then at Tekken 6, she's like, she gives up because she fails to find Feng. But now she decides to enter Tekken 6 because Jin has started a war. I mean, granted, it's fair enough that the war has caused so many dojos to be closed down. Same thing that happened to Steve. So I'm guessing it's happened to Asuka as well. Her dojo has probably been closed, or her father's dojo has probably been closed. So it's a decent storyline. But to be honest with you, I really wish they just kept on the storyline of her looking for Feng. Maybe her driven by revenge, something like Murdoch and King. That was legit. So like her driven by revenge, just looking to find Feng and all that stuff. So I really, really wish they would have gone that route. So this is basically Asuka's complete Tekken 6 storyline. She basically enters Tekken 6 in order to capture Jin due to the fact that he started a war that has caused dismay around the world and caused the closure of the father's dojo and her dojo as well. Now, Tekken 6 also introduces the rivalry between her and Lily. Like, this was probably the most random thing Tekken did, coming from Tekken 5 to Tekken 6. Intertwining Lily and Asuka, like, the rivalry is fun. It's not always good to have serious storylines. You need diversity, so I do understand that. But the transition from her looking for Feng, to her looking to capture Jin, to forming a rivalry with Lily, I mean, it just seems so random. But it's kind of a friendly rivalry thing. So they kind of have this, friendly engagement. Lily keeps losing to Asuka in the tournament, so she's always after Asuka. And Asuka is like, trying to just go through her business and get Lily off her back. So it's kind of this relationship we have between these two. Again, it is fun, but it's kind of it gets old. So this is Asuka's storyline during the events of Tekken 6. Nothing too serious. Moving on to the events of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7. Since they fought at the King of Iron Fist tournament, Asuka felt that Lily was taking the whole rivalry nonsense a little too seriously. I just spoke about this. Asuka recalled Lily's phone call out of the blue a few days earlier, which said, "Hello Asuka, I'm sure you have heard the news that the King of Iron Fist tournament is starting again soon. Worry not, I have already gracious enough to register you for the competition. No trying to weasel out of it. You hear? I'm here. I'm ever so looking forward to fighting you." As Asuka let her rage toward Lily presumptuously fly down the phone, Lily hung up. Fed up of being treated like a rich girl's plaything, Asuka thought that maybe if she beat Lily, the conceited little princess would leave her alone. Then again, maybe not. Asuka wondered how she could resolve the situation but came up with nothing. Eventually, she decided to go along with Lily's plan and enter the tournament Tekken 7. So again, we went from Asuka looking for Feng for what he did to her father, to Asuka looking for Jin because he started a war in the world, to Asuka now trying to get Lily off her back. You get what I'm trying to say, guys? I don't like the fact that they focused solely on the Asuka and Lily rivalry. I also didn't like the same thing with Lily, right? Lily had the whole thing with the Rashford family going bankrupt. I really wish they focused more on that, but they chose to focus more on the friendly rivalry between her and Asuka. It's the same thing with Asuka, bro. Like, focus on this issue with Feng. I really wish she had a good relationship with Lei as well. You know, investigations, discovering why Feng was doing the whole thing of, you know, destroying dojos all around the world. I really wish they went that route with Asuka, but unfortunately, beggars can't always be choosers. So this, my boys, is the complete Asuka Kazama storyline from Tekken 5 to Tekken 7. Now, diving more into the relationship between Jin, Kazama, and Asuka, I really don't understand why they haven't given light on this, on the relationship between these two. Like, how are they related? They have the same surname, right? They have the same traditional fighting style. So who is Asuka's father? What did he have with Jun, right? Because they're Kazamas. So it's a very, very sus situation going on here. Very sus. But they are definitely related in some way. Step, bro? I'm stuck? Maybe. But I really wish they'd give us more, bro. We need the juicy stuff in the Tekken storylines. I always talk about this, the juicy stuff. But unfortunately, again, beggars can't be choosers. We're not told. Hopefully in Tekken 8, we see this come to light. Now, as for where I'd want to see the storyline go, honestly with you, it can go two ways. Firstly, I would like to see her form a relationship with Jin, right? Because the Kazamas and the Mishimas don't really have friendly relationships. So I would like something friendly between her and the Jin, like, you know, friendly, very close to each other, something like that. And I'd want them to go back to the Feng Wei storyline of her wanting revenge for what Feng did to her father. I would like to see that as well. But I do know for a fact that Asuka will be in Tekken 8. She is a very nice character, she's just a very generic designed character. I miss her kimono from Tekken 5, but I really do like her. I think I might try her one of these days. But all in all, my boys, this is a complete storyline of Asuka Kazama. If you did enjoy my video, please like, subscribe, and please check out my Tekken Law playlist, including Feng Wei complete storyline explained and Lily complete storyline explained. GG.